Hollywood celebrities are trying to figure out what it is they're supposed to say about El Trumpo. President Trump has them in doubt because they were supposed to be part of Les Resistance. But instead, the American people largely are supporting what's going on in the federal government. Now, Hollywood is trying to figure out how do they not get bulldozed this time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Heed the call, come one and all to the place that explains entertainment and indeed keeps you ahead of the culture curve. Folks, if you would not mind, click that like button, and if we can earn your subscription, well, that is indeed what we aim to do, and we do it with the truth served up on a hot silver platter 4 times a day. Folks, we're happy you came our way. Today we're talking about the fact that not only Hollywood, but even talk shows like The View have no idea with what they should do regarding President Trump and Elon Musk. And it's presenting a very strange situation where some celebrities are taking the middle ground road while others are not doing what they're told from execs and studios worried they're about to be on the wrong side of the executive branch. All right, folks, we have one more story on the docket. We're going to rock it because that's all we know how to do on this channel. So lock it in, give us your attention, and we're going to get the big win as we tell you about Hollywood. And, well, they don't know what to do right now because they wanted to fight against Orange Men Bad. But all right, it turns out, well, the American people, they're not for that. Let's take a look. Here we go, folks. This comes to us from Emilio2763 off of X.com. He's pulling it from ABC. And of course, ABC is Disney. So that's why we've got it up on the screen. Do not worry. We'll not get too political here. We're going to talk about the impact on Hollywood and how they're responding. Favorability on issues among adults. This is talking about a poll that ABC has up here, the Marquette poll. And this seems to confirm what we've been told by Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen. They're doing a fantastic job. And they, of course, Rasmussen are the leading pollster in terms of accuracy from the 2024 election. This confirming it out of Marquette. Government's recognition of only 2 sexes, 63%. Deportations as described by the Trump administration, 60% support. Expanding oil and gas production, 60% support. Declare emergency at the southern border, 59% support. Now, what does this have to do with Hollywood? Well, folks, it's causing them to have to reconfigure what they're going to say on El Trumpo, on Orange Men Bad. Let me grab this real quick. If we play that, CBS. Well, you know, I don't know why CBS doesn't like us, but they would probably be real quick to hit us with an issue on that, so we won't play it. Yeah. All right, out of independent.com from the UK, lifelong Democrat George Clooney issues surprising message to Donald Trump. All right, so this is listen, don't forget the importance of this. George Clooney, we're told, was one of the guys who helped take out Biden and replace him with Kamala Harris. Jonas, do you remember that?
Yeah. George Clooney was the one to blame for Kamala Harris, even though Joe Biden was so confident that he could have beaten Donald Trump. Now we'll never know.
Right. So, this is amazing. He's a Hollywood actor, right? But he's also the guy who sent Biden out, maybe with Pelosi and Schumer, but that's how big of a deal George Clooney was in terms of what was happening. So what does he say on the Colbert Show that we can't play? Well, here's what he says. He says, I was raised a Democrat in Kentucky, Clooney, 63, told Colbert and the studio audience. So I've had a lot of fun in my life, as you can imagine. And I think he's being dismissive towards Kentucky. He continued, and I've lost a lot of elections. The first time I voted, it was 1980. So I was a Carter guy and Reagan won. Can you imagine at this point being like, I was pro-Carter and darn it, Reagan beat me. That's one of those that you say, yeah, I was on the right side of there. And then I lost to some Bushes. I won with some Clintons and Obamas. This is a democracy and this is how it works. Colbert interjected to joke, how did it go this time for you? I forgot who you were supporting. And so Clooney, who supported Kamala Harris in the 2024 election, after urging Joe Biden to exit the race, quipped, well, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Storm the hallowed halls of political sausage making. He says it didn't work out. That's what happens. It's part of democracy, and there are people who agree and people who disagree. And most of us still like each other, and we'll get through it. Now, folks, remember how they acted the first go around and then versus that. And I would say it's not because they've changed hats. It's because the American people are supporting, at this juncture, the orange man bad, right? El Trumpo. And so Clooney and those, the Hollywood celebrities, even though they're highly political, extremely partisan, they're having to change their minds. Well, as you might imagine, the ladies, the crazies over on The View, Disney's daytime talk show they sponsor, they don't know how to handle this. So I want to play a little bit about their response to George Clooney. And then they actually on The View, because of the situation they're in, because they don't know what to do when they have told you that this was the end of democracy. Remember, this was going to be it. It's all over. You all out there collectively elected evil incarnate. There's not going to be more elections. Well, they're getting the rejection of their lifetimes because they made stuff up and they don't know what to say. We'll play this and then I'll show you. They actually can't speak English anymore. They're so befuddled and confused by what's going on.
Yeah, I've been not involved with it, but gotten a lot of information on it. And let's face it, Black people know how to organize outside of systems because we've been excluded from systems for so very long. And that's why we were behind the civil rights movement. And when Black people win and get rights like civil rights, everybody does better.
Now, what she's talking about in this clip is that George Clooney has abandoned them. This is the response, okay? We can't play the whole thing. It's 7 minutes long, but George Clooney has abandoned them by taking this moderated approach. We'll continue to play it.
And that's something that the Democrats can take a page out of the book for. But, you know, I'm starting to think, as I've said before, I'm one of the 92% of Black women that voted for Kamala Harris. And so I'm sort of in a resting place right now because I voted to save the country and the country didn't vote with me. The majority of the country. A lot of the country. A lot of the country, but the majority didn't. So I'm kind of in your phase that you just described, the turtle phase. Oh, the turtle. I think that the Republicans...
Let them meet each other?
Yeah, I think the Republicans and the people that voted for Trump and now and they also voted for co-president Musk, now they realize that the forest ranger just got fired. Somebody in the Foreign Service, you know, his wife couldn't get medevac because they got fired. All the federal workers are getting fired. I think that they will turn on the Republican Party and they will come back.
Folks, we're not going to get too political. Just saying. I don't see that happening, Sonny. Turtle mode describes Hollywood very well and how they're feeling right now because Hollywood was supposed to be la résistance. But the problem is that Hollywood loves their yachts, their planes, their trains, their helicopters, and everything else. And they love being insane and going to those parties where all kinds of things happen that, well, probably shouldn't. And so Hollywood wants money to do all that. They want your money. And so long as you are supporting the one that they said was absolute darkness wrought upon earth, well, they're gonna be gentle with it. Take a look at this. I want you to see now. This is The View again. This is going to be Whoopi Goldberg trying to explain what it is exactly that they don't like right now. And then we'll get the panel's thoughts on all of this. Here is how best they can articulate. Like if you get them past the talking points, here's actually what they think is going on. See if you can decipher whether or not this is even English.
I put up with it.
Well,
and by the way, egg prices are supposed to come down, not airplanes.
Well, let me say someplace that could really use a lot of cutting. You know, Elon has very many what do you call it?
Government contracts.
Yeah. I think because I don't remember. Maybe y'all heard it, but I don't remember looking for an armored car. And I don't remember. I don't care what it looks like. I don't remember asking for it. I don't know why I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
I want to know, when did I say, hey, we need another agency next to NASA?
Yeah.
So when did we start paying for his stuff?
You talking about SpaceX overseeing FAA?
No. You know that he's going to be cutting. NASA.
Yeah,
that's the competition. So what is the real deal
NASA's
here?
not the
If we want to cut
competition,
some
NASA's
money,
the
let's cut some of these.
I can't figure out what the heck they're talking about. I mean, the whole government is cutting some waste, but SpaceX is not a competitor to NASA. SpaceX is a partner to NASA. SpaceX is about to go pick up the astronauts. This is where we are, guys. They either have to play gentle or they have to articulate what it is they don't like. and when they articulate what they don't like, it's nonsensical. Now, I'm really trying hard not to, be political. I'm here to say they don't even understand what it is they're against. If you can't express it in simple English, what it is you don't like, then maybe you're in some sort of Hollywood bubble cult that you need to step out of. And I don't know how much longer The View is going to do what it does, but The View continues to be what it is, even as George Clooney, who got rid of Biden and brought in Harris, even as George Clooney has moderated himself, even The View has not. Panel, what say you about how Hollywood is handling Orange Man Bad 2.0?
What's funny is there's some other comments that have been made on The View recently that got almost close to them understanding more conservative viewpoints.
Like Did they give you hope, Jonas? Did they give you hope and they took it away?
No, they didn't in any way. It was them commenting on the Tom Hanks stuff. Joy Behar talking about how she understood why MAGA people would not like the Tom Hanks sketch, but it's because Trump tricked them. That's why, and not that people believe in any of the policies that he espouses. There seems to be a mistake on the left of everything being taken with. They question every statement that comes out of Donald Trump to a point where it's just ridiculous. When he's a person that has a lot of bluster. I don't think there's anyone that goes through like even Trump supporters don't know if he's serious about buying Greenland or making Canada the 51st state. There is a high probability that he is trolling when he says things like that, but that less than 50% that he might be true keeps everybody's attention in a way. Like he's the man with the laser pointer, and the media and Hollywood are just a bunch of cats trying to figure out what is going on with this red light, but we have to eradicate it.
But look at this, Jonas. If we go to CNN, right? We've talked about this before. CNN, MSNBC, they are just absolutely, they're at the precipice of destruction. MSNBC has even gone to the point, Comcast just spun them off and we're like, we don't want anything to do with this anymore. CNN is struggling financially. I think we may have better viewership than CNN at this point. Here's how CNN is presenting the Tom Hanks issue. Right-leaning media melts down over SNL skit not long after saying Americans are too sensitive. Like, that's the spin from Abby Phillip over at CNN. When the reality is, no, we don't want the nightcap from CNN. The reality is they did this stupid skit where they presented Trump supporters as being afraid to shake the hand of black men, when in fact Trump got the record-breaking percentages of black men to support him in the last election. This is not necessarily political in terms of the damage they're doing to themselves for entertainment and for viability to survive as organizations. The more that CNN runs this kind of stuff, right, the more that The View can't even articulate in English what it is they're against, the more they do this, the more they lose. And some of the celebrities seem to be getting it now. Like George Clooney finally sees it. And he's saying, you know what? I'm just going to play nice because that seems to be working. But not all of them can. Even CNN at the edge of non-existence, they're going to sink in their own ideological mire and muck.
I totally agree. This is something, and maybe it's the disappearance of the mid-level movie, not the blockbuster, not the super cheap indie film, but like romantic comedies that has made someone like George Clooney, who he would love to have the opportunity to do one of those Oscar-worthy films that nobody watches. But in order to have the funds to be able to do that, he has to do an Intolerable Cruelty or something like that. Those have all dried up and gone over to Netflix, and who knows what the budget is on something like that. So I think there's a lot of desperation out there in Hollywood. The idea of George Clooney being a big actor, he's a guy who used to be a big actor, and now I guess if he wants to be in the next reboot of The Flash and play Batman one more time, he's got to get it to where people want to pick up the phone.
Hey, real life fake wizard, I don't know your politics, you don't know mine. I just want to tell you, I've got friends who are classical liberals. I've got friends who are conservatives. I've got friends who are libertarians. It's tough to be friends with people who are woke because wokeism is postmodern neo-Marxism. and they don't believe in merit, and that makes it a hard friendship, right? If you don't believe in merit, because you can't build, right? It's all about the tribe and not about our individual contributions to a relationship. But across the traditionally normal spectrum of politics, like I could be friends with a vast majority of people, but Hollywood makes it difficult to be friends with them because they don't seem to like the people who like Orange Man bad. And that makes it difficult for them to capture the kind of audience they need to survive. What do you think about all of this?
I think so. Let me start off by saying I love The View. And let me tell you why. Because it is a good laugh. Because it is a direct phone line into something like Hollywood. This is what they're saying behind the scenes. This is how Hollywood really thinks about not really even just Republicans or people that voted for Trump, but just people. This is how The View and this is how Hollywood thinks about people. It's not even a political thing. It's just a human being thing. So she said something that I want to really hone in on because, oh my gosh, she just revealed it again. Turtle mode. She deliberately said turtle mode. Now, this is something that I've personally been waiting for somebody to get that voice clip of. Turtle mode. We're going to go dark. We're going to pretend. She may not like what George Clooney is saying, but she just admitted to doing the same thing. They're going to pretend like everything is fine. They're going to go quiet and wait for something to happen. And then, boom, it's going to be, they're going to come back swinging. Everybody who thinks, oh, this is great. Everything is going to course correct. Disney's coming back. Everything is, no, it's not. No, it's not. Star Wars isn't coming back. Everybody in the chat, listen, Marvel is not coming back. Star Wars is not coming back. Pixar, maybe. They only had a couple of misses. Everything else is pretty much destroyed. The Disney live action is not gonna be good ever, I think. But it's things aren't coming back. They want you to just forget that all of the negative stuff happened, which is really where like the foundation of my mission statement here is like cancel Disney Plus. It's the best thing you can do. But then on top of that, what's the next thing that I think everybody needs to start doing is we need to learn how to get creative on our own. So that's like the end phase for my whole channel. I'll tell everybody here, like that's the next thing is how do we get you at home being more creative, telling stories on your own, picking up a pencil, getting together with your family and finding new ways to be creative in your own ways. We can't rely on the stewards of Hollywood anymore to carry heroism and storytelling in for our families. It's not working anymore. They're bringing horrible values with them, and they just admitted that they're just going dark for a little while, and they're going to come right back as soon as that window's open. This is exactly it. So don't trust George Clooney. Trust The View because they're telling you the truth. That is exactly how they think about human beings, not just Republicans. It's not a political thing. They don't value humans. That's
what a great point. And let me take that point and hand it to Vash, hand the baton off. But that really was excellent. Vash, speaking of that point, The View really hates Elon Musk. They really despise him. And yet at the same time, the Disney stock is struggling. The View, the ratings are down. The box office is in trouble. Streaming is seemingly collapsing. Like entertainment outside of live sports is not in a good place. At the same time, Musk bought Twitter. They mocked him. They laughed at him. And yet it has become one of the biggest apps on the planet. Some say it's the number one app on the planet. And Musk has become not just the man who catches rockets, but also the guy who is the king of the new media. He owns it. Now, I'm not saying that Musk is having a fun time in every aspect of his life right now, but at least when it comes to owning the media, he's doing it figuratively and literally. So is that part of why they hate him so?
Oh, sure, yeah, because I think the youth, which is somebody who, that is a demo that I think Hollywood is attempting to bring on their side right there. They're really enamored with Elon to a profound degree. Part of that is X, and part of that is what he's doing with the government, and part of that is, how he conducts himself and carries himself, right? Tesla and SpaceX have a lot to do with that, but he is really popular among that cohort right there. And so there's a little bit of envy and jealousy playing out there as well. It's so interesting because if you look at Trump's favorability and and how embraced his policies have been in this kind of recent term here, it is fascinating because it has had kind of a knock-on effect where you have a lot of classical liberals, a lot of people who have been voting Democrat for decades, telling pollsters right now, you know what, I don't really like Trump and his affect and what he says and all this. I like what he does. And the guy moves very fast, and I've seen more movement from the position of the presidency more than I've ever seen anybody ever do. And so they're kind of coming on board there, which is very interesting. And so I think Hollywood finds itself in this really interesting predicament in which they don't really represent the working class. They don't really represent the everyday man. They've kind of, they've kind of left that position right there, and they want to take the path of the resistance, right? They want to resist, but you really do need a figure that everybody kind of universally hates and despises, and that doesn't really exist either with Musk or Trump right now. So, they want to play the rebels and we're against the evil empire, when in reality, they're kind of like the imperial agents and they're trying to take down the formation of the new republic. And that's a very different dynamic, one that I don't think they recognize fully, the dynamic that they're in right now.
Like Meghan Markle trying to teach you how to do laundry, it comes off as inauthentic, especially after they told you that all of time and space would end if the election went the way that it did. And now they're trying to play nice because the reality they presented as being absolutely 100% on the way, well, it never arrived, and it's not here to stay. The Hollyweirds don't understand how it is we do what we do, bringing you video after video every single day of the utmost highest excellence and quality. But folks, we do it because of you. We appreciate you. You are seen and heard here on the Pro Channel. Make your voices heard, folks, by doing one last thing before we say goodbye for a short time. Consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, and you know what? That notification bell, click it and stick it to the algorithms. Also, drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. And don't forget, folks, we've got even more content on the way. If you'd like to become a member, it's just the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of exclusive content beyond what the public sees, including archival footage of the Pro Show that goes away after just a few days from its public release. Folks, we hope we get the honor of spending time with you again soon, and until then, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.